When multinational executives evaluate where to establish their next European branch, Denmark is increasingly moving from a nice-to-have on the shortlist to a serious front-runner, and understanding why requires looking beyond the familiar headlines about quality of life. At its core, Denmark offers a rare combination of strategic location, pro-business regulation, digital maturity, and a highly skilled English-proficient workforce, all wrapped in a political and economic environment that is notably stable by global standards. Geographically, Denmark serves as a natural gateway to both the Nordics and the wider EU. From Copenhagen, companies can reach major European capitals in a few hours, while also accessing the advanced Nordic markets and the fast-growing economies around the Baltic Sea. For organisations that operate a hub-and-spoke model, a Danish branch can function as an efficient coordination centre for Northern Europe, especially when linked with strong logistics infrastructure, modern ports, and well-connected airports. At the regulatory level, Denmark's business environment is built on clarity and predictability. Setting up a legal entity is comparatively straightforward, with low administrative complexity, digital-first public services, and transparent rules on taxation and compliance. While statutory tax rates in Denmark may appear higher than in some competing jurisdictions, what many companies find in practice is that the overall cost of doing business is optimized by reduced bureaucracy, fewer delays, and a regulatory landscape that minimizes hidden friction. This predictability is particularly valuable for sectors such as life sciences, clean energy, technology, and advanced manufacturing, where long-term capital commitments depend on regulatory reliability. Digitalization is another area where Denmark stands out. The country consistently ranks near the top in Europe for digital infrastructure, e-government, and broadband penetration. For businesses, this translates into faster setup, streamlined reporting, and easier integration of digital tools across operations. Many administrative processes, from corporate registration to VAT filings, are handled online through mature platforms, reducing reliance on in-person visits and manual paperwork. Combined with a culture that is quick to adopt new technologies, Denmark provides a testbed for digital products and services that can later be scaled to the rest of Europe. The talent pool is also a primary driver of Denmark's attractiveness. The workforce is highly educated, with strong representation in engineering, IT, life sciences, design, and business disciplines. English proficiency is among the highest in the world for non-native speakers, which significantly lowers barriers for foreign management teams and accelerates integration with global headquarters. Moreover, Danish work culture emphasizes autonomy, collaboration, and low hierarchy, enabling agile decision-making and cross-functional problem-solving. For organizations seeking to build innovation hubs, R&D centers, or regional headquarters, this combination supports both productivity and creativity. From a sector perspective, Denmark has developed globally competitive clusters that can offer immediate ecosystem benefits to foreign entrants. In life sciences, the Greater Copenhagen area hosts leading pharmaceutical, biotech, and medtech players, supported by strong universities and hospitals that facilitate clinical research and partnership opportunities. In clean energy, Denmark's leadership in wind power, offshore energy, and sustainability provides a robust ecosystem for companies focused on the green transition. In technology and digital solutions, a growing community of scale-ups and established firms is building momentum in areas such as fintech, health tech, e-commerce, and data-driven services. For a company entering these fields, locating in Denmark can mean faster access to partners, suppliers, research institutions, and specialized talent. Another factor increasingly considered by boards and investors is ESG performance, and Denmark's alignment with sustainability standards is a clear differentiator. Environmental regulations are strict but well defined, and the local market is accustomed to ambitious carbon reduction targets, circular economy models, and transparent reporting. For organisations that have made public climate commitments or that must comply with evolving ESG disclosure requirements in Europe, operating in Denmark can support credibility and provide a practical environment to pilot sustainable solutions. This ESG maturity also enhances employer branding, as many professionals now prioritise working for organisations that operate in a responsible and future-oriented manner. Yet cost and competitiveness remain critical considerations, and Denmark addresses these through productivity and innovation rather than wage suppression. While salary levels and living costs can be higher than in some Central or Eastern European locations, companies often find that output per employee, low absenteeism, and strong retention help optimise total labour costs. The social model, with extensive childcare, healthcare and education, underpins workforce stability, reducing disruptions and making Denmark an attractive destination for expatriate managers and specialist hires. Additionally, government-backed programs, innovation funds, and collaboration platforms between industry and academia can offset some upfront investment in R&D intensive projects. From an operational risk perspective, Denmark offers a very low corruption environment, strong legal protections, and a consistent rule of law, which together reduce the risk premium associated with long-term investment. Political consensus on the fundamentals of economic policy further limits the volatility that can affect corporate planning in other jurisdictions. Data protection and cybersecurity standards are aligned with EU norms, giving companies confidence to host sensitive operations or data-related functions locally. For firms that have had to navigate unpredictable regulatory swings elsewhere, this stability can be a decisive factor. However, choosing Denmark should still be a strategic decision, not an automatic one. Companies need to align their branch expansion with their broader European roadmap, considering questions such as, will Denmark serve primarily as a sales and distribution hub, an innovation and R&D centre, a regional headquarters, or a specialised operations site? How will proximity to Nordic and EU customers, suppliers and regulators create tangible value? What is the plan to tap into local clusters, universities and innovation networks? And how will the organisation adapt to Danish work culture, particularly its emphasis on trust, transparency and work-life balance? Executives who succeed in Denmark tend to invest early in local leadership with strong cultural fluency, integrate Danish operations into global decision-making rather than treating them as isolated outposts, and leverage public-private partnerships and industry associations to accelerate market understanding. In practical terms, the pathway often begins with a representative office or a small branch focused on a specific function, such as sales, customer success, or a pilot R&D team, then scales up as the organisation gains confidence in the environment and validates its business case. Over the next decade, as companies recalibrate their European footprints in light of geopolitical shifts, supply chain resilience, digital transformation, and ESG imperatives, Denmark's profile is likely to rise further. Its strengths, strategic location, regulatory clarity, digital maturity, talent quality, and sustainability leadership directly address many of the criteria now featuring at the top of corporate expansion checklists. For organisations that prioritise long-term stability, innovation and alignment with European regulatory and ESG standards, Denmark is no longer just a high-quality niche option. It is emerging as one of the most compelling choices for establishing a new European branch.